Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is Skype Goldbridge. I'm going to start off as per usual with a few topical points and then throw open the calls to you on Skype Goldbridge. What do you want to talk about? But I want to start off with James Rodriguez to Manchester United. If you're watching the 7am transfer dailies on the United Stand, make sure you're dropping likes on those videos and getting involved in it, because I think it's going to be an exciting summer. But the James Rodriguez to Manchester United deal seems to be growing closer and closer. He's already done his little wave at the Bernabeu at the weekend. He said he knows where he'll be next season and it won't be Real Madrid. Colombian radio and certain newspapers reporting a deal's been agreed with Manchester United. Same agent as Jose Mourinho. It fits. But I like James Rodriguez. In fact, I've spent the last hour watching a lot of his highlights. We nearly signed him when he went to Monaco, and we nearly signed him when he was at Porto. So he's not a new player. A lot of us know what he is. I should copyright the fact that he's got a wand of a left foot, because he has got a wand of a left foot. He is a very, very, very good player. But there are a couple of things that I've been listening to you lot that concern me about James Rodriguez. One of them, no matter how you dress it up, he is a reject from Real Madrid. He's another Di Maria. He's a player that Real Madrid don't want anymore, who can't get into their first team. And that doesn't sit right with a lot of Manchester United fans as a reason anyway. Why are we picking up Real Madrid rejects when they're going to take the best goalkeeper in the world offers? That doesn't sit right. Why are we in the shadow of Real Madrid? Last summer with Pogba, winter is here, winter is coming, we thought we'd done it, and then we're going back into the shadows again. I don't really like that. I like James Rodriguez. I think Mourinho can get the best out of him though, so maybe that's not such an issue. The second one is there is not a lot of difference between James Rodriguez and Juan Mata and Andreas Pereira, and that concerns me. I like Rodriguez. If we sign him, as I say, he's a good player. I've got no issue with him, but it doesn't fit. There's something not right about that deal. He is best coming in off the right, using his left foot. That curling cross into the box is one of the best in world football. But we've already got Juan Mata who can do that. We've already got Andreas Pereira, who's gone on loan. I thought he could do it anyway, but he's gone on loan to prove he can do it in La Liga. If we sign James Rodriguez, then I strongly suggest and fear that either Juan Mata or Pereira has got no future at Manchester United, which for me is criminal. Juan Mata's been one of our most consistent players this year, when we were told last season that Mourinho would get rid of him. And Andres Pereira is from our youth setup and is one of the most exciting players in European football. So why spend 50 to 60 million pounds on somebody when we've got somebody already? Now, what I would say about James Rodriguez, he's slightly quicker than Mata, he's more skillful than Mata, he's stronger than Mata. So, I wouldn't disagree that he may well be an upgrade on Mata. But we've already got Mata. I don't want Mata to leave Manchester United this summer. And actually, I think Andres Pereira can be better than James Rodriguez. So it's a really weird deal that looks like it's going to happen when we've got an abundance of that type of player. I mean, we're crying out for a centre-back that's dominant, a centre defensive midfielder that can run the midfield, a winger with pace, a number 9 that can replace Zlatan, and a number 10 that can replace Rooney. We don't need another Mata or a Pereira or a Mkhitaryan, but it looks exactly like that's what we're going to do. So I find the Rodriguez deal very, very concerning. Another thing I find quite concerning is this rumour that's been going around, and I think it was reported on the BBC, that we have approached 3 Tottenham players in the last 12 months and basically said, come to Manchester United and we'll double your money. Now, a lot of people are in uproar on social media, especially on Twitter this afternoon, saying this is not good of Manchester United, we're just buying success. Look, I've been following Manchester United for 30 years. We were doing that in the late 80s. Sir Alex Ferguson, I remember buying an episode, a weekly magazine called Shoot, and they had a robot on one of the pages that Manchester United have just paid 200 million for, because we were buying so many players. We've always done it, so it doesn't concern me that much. But is it wrong to be going and getting people's best players, doubling their money? I mean, are we becoming a bit mercenary? Do you need to... Should you go to someone like Eric Dyer, for example, if it's him, and say, right, you're on 80 grand a week at Spurs, we'll pay you 160 to come to Manchester United. Personally, I think you should say, we'll pay you 80 grand a week to come to Manchester United. We shouldn't need to do a pay rise. And if they are coming to us just for the money, is that a problem down the line? Because I think we have bought players recently that have just come for the money. And the third thing I want to say before I open the calls, Fellaini, the Trabzonspor president, his Turkish club, has come out and said they want to sign Marouane Fellaini. Should Fellaini be leaving Manchester United? Do you want Fellaini to leave Manchester United? Do you want somebody else to leave Manchester United? Lots and lots of criticism today in relation to Jesse Lingard. I put a joke tweet off my at Mark Goldbridge account saying that he's been missing for the last since the League Cup final. If anyone's seen him, please get in contact with Manchester United Football Club. But it was a joke. But I think his performances are a joke, and I get a little bit fed up of people saying, well, you know what? You've got to support everybody in a Manchester United shirt. Win, lose or draw, back the players. No. That's not how it works for me. If it works like that for you, fantastic. I applaud you. Well done. You're far more humble than I am. But no, that's not how it works for me. I've seen plenty of crap players in a Manchester United shirt over the years, and to be honest, if you're not good enough to wear the shirt, I'm going to say it. I don't care. If people think that's wrong, there's plenty of other people doing it. If you don't think someone's good enough to wear the shirt of the club that you love, then you've got a right to express that opinion as much as the person who says, I just back them 100%. Look, Manchester United have been around a lot longer than me, and they'll be around a lot longer after me as well. But they've certainly been around a hell of a lot longer than Jesse Lingard, and they will be around a hell of a lot longer afterwards. He's not good enough at the moment for a Manchester United shirt. I don't think he'll ever be good enough. I think he's in the same category as Fellaini, but I'd swap them tomorrow. I've got no loyalty to them. If you perform in the shirt, great. Doesn't mean if I saw Lingard on the street, I'd call him a name. I don't know the bloke. He's, as far as I know, he's probably a nice bloke. But his criticism, the starts and ends in a Manchester United shirt for me, all I'm bothered about is the club. I mean, it's great if you've got a player that you love at the club and you back them. That's fantastic. But I'm not for backing players that are not good enough to wear the shirt. And I'm sorry. So I don't. Well, I'm not sorry about it. I'm not. If they're not good enough, they're not good enough. And I don't buy into this win, lose or draw, support the team stuff. I guarantee you, if United lost 20 games in a row playing rubbish football, the people who say that would soon stop saying it. There's certain standards at Manchester United, and I think the worst thing today is that we've been getting a lot of stick from Liverpool fans saying, ha, we're fourth, and they're ecstatic with fourth place. My concern is, it's annoying that we've handed fourth place to Liverpool, but I'm actually more looking at how far we are off the title, because Manchester United should always be going for the title. However, let's open the calls. Skype Goldbridge, let's grab a call. Who should we grab first? Let's try Georgie. Georgie, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect, mate. What do you want to talk about?
I just want to talk about the squad and all the hate that Mourinho is getting at the moment.
Okay, yeah. Do you think it's good or do you think it's bad?
I think the thing is, he inherited a squad that's it's basically LVG squad, right? So we have Marouane Fellaini, Juan Mata, Herrera, and a couple other players. So for the past couple of months, it's been hectic for him, because what he did in the past for the first 3 months, he tried to play attacking football, which worked, but with a couple injuries, he had to change everything and go all defensive. So that's kind of made people think that he doesn't have it still, which I think is unacceptable. I understand what he says when he says he doesn't want to play any more Premier League games. That's because I think he's more focused on Europa League, because he knows with that he gets Champions League. Then everyone will be like, Mourinho's back and all that. So it's one of those things. As for Lingard, I just heard you earlier saying you don't want James Rodriguez, but I'd take Giggs out of retirement to play in Lingard's position.
But yeah, I mean good points. But I was going to say that then. The reality is, Mourinho is the manager, and I put something out on Twitter today, and I'm not big for stats, but when you look at Lingard against Martial, they've played the same amount of games, the same amount of minutes. In fact, no, Lingard's played more. Lingard's got 1 goal and 2 assists. I think Martial's got 5 goals and 4 assists. And Martial's apparently had a bad season, but Martial picks Lingard all the time. I mean, there's got to be... I'm a Mourinho fan as well, but he has to be... he's picking Lingard all the time, so he's got to take responsibility for that. He can't just hide behind it's not his squad when he's picking what many United fans believe to be the wrong players. I mean, he's probably going to pick Lingard in the final over Martial, which, it's suicidal to me.
Exactly, that's the thing. I also don't want Lingard to start, but we have to back what Mourinho does for now. The thing is, all I'm saying is I'll give him another season. All the 4 players he bought, Pogba, Bailey, Ibrahimovic, and who else was it? The 4 players he got, they've all done exceptionally well.
Zlatan, Pogba, Mkhitaryan, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The well done exception as well. So I'll give him one more season, give him another transfer season, give him a bunch of wherever he needs. Give him another season. Because I remember when he was at Chelsea the first season, he lost the league to Man City. He said it's because he doesn't have a striker. So he went out and I don't know what he did, but he won the league the next season. So right now he knows the squad he had. I think he overestimated the job that he had. He thought like Rooney, Carrick, and the rest of them would really, up the game, but they didn't. So now he went more defensive, something that he can relate to, but we can't. So we have to give him probably another year. That's if it doesn't work out, obviously I'm going to be mad as well.
Okay, George, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Nairobi, Kenya.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks very much for calling in. First time on the show?
Yeah, first time on the show.
Brilliant. Well, please do call in again, and a really good start to the show. Thanks very much, Georgie.
All right, thanks very much, Mark.
Thank you. So, I don't disagree with that. Back in Mourinho, I do think he's made mistakes, but I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I must just add as well that Mourinho will... Jesse Lingard won't be going anywhere either in the summer if anyone thinks he is. Michael, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How you doing? All right?
I'm not too bad, and you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm getting a bit of echo from you because I can hear myself back. If you can sort that out and then tell us what you want to talk about.
Yeah, I'll probably surprise you, Mark, by saying I'm very much in the Mourinho out camp at the moment, and I'll tell you why, and I'll keep it very, very simple. Okay. We are Manchester United. That's who we are, and the history of our club dictates that we should play a certain way. Sir Bobby Charlton is on record as saying it, and so is Sir Alex Ferguson. And the bottom line is, if you look at the attacking players we have this season, Mourinho has been very slow to unleash them at any stage. And I think that while Ibra has scored an awful lot of goals for us, it unfortunately has stifled Rashford's development. And for me, because of the club that we are, because of the great history of our club, we simply have got to play football in a certain way, and Mourinho simply is not going to do that. He's going to persist playing the way he does, and for me that means that we need to move him out. And I know a lot of people will probably criticise me for saying it, but the history of our great club dictates. I mean, I'm 49 years of age. I'm a United fan for over 40 years. We've had good times, we've had bad times, but we've always tried to play the game in a certain way. And Mourinho simply is not doing that. And I think unless he does change, and I don't see him changing, the fans will turn on him in the next year. So that's really what I wanted to say. I think it's time for Mourinho to go.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't agree with it, but what I would say is that I remember with Louis van Gaal, it started with the old. I mean, with all due respect, the older fans who've been watching United for a long time. They started on Van Gaal a lot before even I did, and they were proved right. And that's what concerns me when someone like you says what you've just said there, Michael. What I would say in his defence is, obviously I'm Mourinho in, and I think he needs another summer, definitely, and another year. I can't guarantee where we'll be next year. I think we'll be champions. People may call me deluded for that, but he certainly has played good football at times. I think the football at times this season has been better than it has been for the last 3 or 4 years. Do you not trust him to bring that back? Do you think, like the previous caller saying, he's playing defensive football because he can't trust these players? All his signings have done well. Do you not trust him to just have another summer, see if he can sort it out?
No, I don't. I put it to you like this: Van Gaal, within a few weeks of Van Gaal signing and a few weeks of us playing matches, I was of the view, sorry, this guy has to go, because every coach has a philosophy, Mark, of how the game should be played. I'm a badminton coach myself. I have my philosophy as to how the game should be played. And certainly with Van Gaal, it's hard to play football when your philosophy is played in your own half, pass it backwards or sideways, but rarely moving forward. So Van Gaal was always a dead man walking at United. And it would be very hard for anybody going into Old Trafford and not to do better than Van Gaal. And if you look at Mourinho's stats in terms of his wins, he's on a par with Van Gaal. But for me, it's very, very simple. We are Manchester United. We're a very special club with a fantastic history. If you look down through the years of all the fantastic players we've had, they have always been allowed to play football the way it should be played. And not Louis van Gaal, but Mourinho is not allowing players to do that. And when I hear a coach talking about not trusting his players, I mean, you have to be kidding me for a coach to come out with that. And, you know, I mean, if we're even going down that route, like, that's enough. I mean, we've plenty of attacking players at Old Trafford. We've got Mata, we've got Marshall. You know, we really do. We've got Mkhitaryan. Look how he treated Mkhitaryan earlier on. One of the most attacking players around. You know, to me, he just stifles creativity. He wants to play a certain way. And for me, it's not the Manchester United way. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, we need a new manager, and he's not the one.
Thanks, Michael. You've put it across really well, and thanks for calling in. Brilliant.
Yeah, listen, love the show, by the way. My son is a big Man U fan as well. He's just come in from hurling training. I'm calling from Ireland. So listen, love the show and keep it going, all right?
Thanks, Michael, and really appreciate your view. Take
care, bye-bye.
Which I genuinely do. I don't agree with it, but the way he's articulated it, an old school United fan, you can't. Well, you can argue with it because you disagree with it. But the one thing that stood out for me from Michael's call there was the philosophy, a word that gives me nightmares because it always reminds me of Van Gaal. But what I would say is the 1 minute, Rodney. Just bear with me a minute. I'm just going to wrap up the last call. What I would say about the philosophy is that that is the concern that from Michael's call there is that if Mourinho, and we were talking about it last night on the Sunday show, if Mourinho thinks he can grind out results to win a title next year, which he probably can, if he thinks that will satisfy Manchester United fans, he's in for a big wake-up call. He's not only got to win titles, he's got to do it the right way. I've seen enough from Mourinho this season to suggest he can do it. I think we have played good football at times this season. But over the last 6 weeks, as I said last night, if you blinked, you'd think it was a Van Gaal team because we've been playing that sort of way. Now, there's an excuse for him straight away. Is he just not got the players that he needs to play a better way? Next season's huge. This summer is huge. But we're talking... Loads of people calling in. I'm going to take as many as I can. James Rodriguez, do you want him at Manchester United? Fellaini to Turkey, do you want him to go? Do you have concerns in relation to the money that we're spending? Mourinho, whatever you want to talk about. But Rodney, regular, we've gone with 2 new ones. What do you want to say?
Well, hi, Mark. You all right?
Thank you.
Good. No, not too bad, thanks. I was listening to that last caller, and I am a Mourinho in. I'm backing the manager. I don't think that Mourinho's asking any different than any other United manager has in the past. When has Man United as a team never defended as a team? When he asks individuals like Martial to do tracking back, did Beckham and Giggs not track back? Did Kanchelskis not track back? When we had Steve Coppell, did they not track back? Man United have always been a team, one with hard work and flair. Right? What's lacking in our team right now is in a number of areas, which I can talk about the Rodriguez thing in a minute. We've lacked a combative centre midfield for a number of years with a goal threat. We haven't got one. We've lacked a consistent striker that's going to score us 20 goals plus. That isn't someone who's paid a certain amount of money and we're pinning our hopes on them. We haven't had one. We were renowned for wing play as a team. The current individuals that are on the wings now can't cross the ball properly, can't get past the first defender, can't pinpoint across to any striker that's in the box. The crosses are hit and hope instead of precision. These individuals that play for Man United are meant to be training every day, working on the things that are weak so that they can become better footballers.
We've got no pace,
no
delivery.
Exactly. So when we talk about Mourinho is defensive. These players were there. The bulk of those players were there before he got there. Those players were moaning about the Van Gaal style with Van Gaal. They're not moaning about Mourinho because Mourinho is getting an extra 10% out of those players. And that extra 10% probably isn't enough. And that's why we are where we are in the league. The league won't lie. We haven't scored enough goals. We haven't got a goal threat. You know, and that's the reality of Manchester United right now. We are a global club, but the football players that we have in those shirts aren't global players. They're happy to go on when you sent that tweet out today about Lingard, I actually wanted to laugh because I'm thinking he's been missing. He's like Jedward, but without the twin. He's like a lost Jedward. I don't understand
for that as well.
Oh, listen, as far as I'm concerned, he's more interested in dance routines. He's got no upper body strength. He has the upper body strength of a 12-year-old boy playing in a man's game. Manchester United lacks a number of things. What I would call is a ruthless desire to win at home. There is no way. If Littlewood Pools was still going, everyone who was supporting United would have made money. The amount of draws. Yeah, listen, we'd be rolling in it. We'd be like saying, yeah, and another one and another one. We have to face facts as fans. This is the state of our club right now. We've got mediocre players, because if we didn't have mediocre players, we wouldn't be where we are right now. And that is a fact. And I said it to you last week. Every club we look at, we can take 2 players. Whether we look at Spurs, we'll say, we can take 2 of their players. Even if we went to PSG, you think, well, we'll take 2 of their players. If we went to Madrid and we're thinking about De Gea, we think, well, we can take 2 of their players, because it tells you a story that our club is weak in every single position. You know, Bailly, outstanding. De Gea, world class. Rashford, he's still young and I've got lots of hope for him. Lots of hope. Valencia has been a soldier this year. You know, Mkhitaryan, when he came on yesterday, I didn't even know he was on the pitch.
No.
I didn't, honestly, I had to kind of look for him.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because all those points are valid. And I think if you've been on social media today, anybody, then you would know that it's been very reminiscent of the Van Gaal days, where you get some people backing what you're tweeting, because obviously we've got a big account, and you got some people just chucking abuse back at you because they totally disagree with it. And this is dangerous territory, because it's not good when there's friendly fire. But what it's about frustration. Some people are like, they can see that, you know, we're not far off. Some people just think we're miles off. But the reality is, I agree that we are miles off. The squad's not good enough, but the frustration today is because we have handed top 4 on a plate to Liverpool that they should never have got. Because despite all the issues we've got, when you look back at the chances we've missed and the points we've dropped, despite not having a good enough squad, we should be comfortably in the top 4. James Rodriguez, Rodney, that's just before you go, I want to get your point on him.
Yeah.
Obviously opened up about that. For me, I really like him. He's a very, very good player. You could argue he's a better player than Mata, but he's the same player as Mata and Pereira. Why are we buying players? You know, we know where the issues are. We need width. We need a number 9. We need a centre-back. We need a centre defensive midfielder. We probably need a left-back. We need a goalkeeper if De Gea goes. Why are we signing a player that we've actually already got in Mata and Pereira?
Honestly, do you know what? When I saw that, and I thought to myself, how many number 10? It's like I'm Spartacus. How many number 10s can Man United have? He may be quicker than Mata, yeah, but I'm like you. I like Mata. He's won me over. His work rate has increased this year. Will James Rodriguez give us 20 goals a season in the Premier League? No guarantee. When he comes in, if he comes in, who are we going to get rid of? If it's a straight replacement for Fellaini, then Fellaini can go to Turkey.
Yeah.
As long as we keep Mata. Do you understand? I don't mind. If he's going to make room for him, fine. Not a problem. But if he's coming in and we've got to lose Mata and Pereira can't get a start, you know, and Rashford spends more time on the bench. And then if he does come in, what does that say about Mkhitaryan? Because wasn't he meant to be a number 10?
Yeah, that's the concern.
You know,
I mean, Rodriguez is a good player. But
but the thing is, he's a very good player. But what does that say about our club? But all the abuse online, Mark, I know that there's been loads. As United fans, we need to be measured with what we say with each other, because this is the reality of where our team is right now. We are a great club, but we are in transition. We can't expect to. Mourinho's probably thought now, he did not realise how big a job, and it's not about the stature of the club, it's about the dead wood that he's got to get rid of. That's the problem he's got. Not about whether the club's too big for him. The club's not too big for him because he's a winner. It's about the dead wood that we have given excessive salaries for and are clinging on for life, because they know that if they were to go somewhere else, they'd be at a Hull, they'd be at a Sunderland, and they'd be at a West Brom. That's why.
Money. Great points, Rodney.
Exactly.
I am planning on getting you on this show with Damien.
No.
I know I had to get hold of you, but I can't. So many people Skype me. I've typed in Damien and it's just not coming up. So if he is watching tonight, Damien, drop us a message on Skype or something and we'll sort it out.
Get involved, Damien. Get involved.
Yeah. But thanks for calling again, and we will sort that out in the near future.
No worries.
Cheers, pal. Speak to you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Great call as ever. I'm going to take another call in a moment, but I just want to just have a read through the live comments. I realise I've not done that tonight. I know you love interacting with each other, but I know you like a bit of a shout out. Shoot Neutrality says it's pronounced James, not James. I normally do James, so I'm sorry about that if I haven't. Listen, if we get Griezmann, then who will play Rashford or Martial, says Mefrus Rahman. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think it's exclusive. I think you could play all three. Daniel Luis says James will get 15 goals. Zanalan Adazado says Mourinho made a lot of mistakes this season. I hope he doesn't repeat his mistake again, and I hope he learns from this season. Look, he'll be judged next season, Mourinho. If we're playing the same football, he's kept the same players that needed to go, and we're struggling for top four, then people will turn. I think at the moment, quite rightly, everybody's giving him a chance, and I still do believe we can win the title next year. I've been saying it for a long time, so I can't change my mind, but I really do think second season Mourinho always wins the title, so he's got a lot of pressure on him next year. He has to get it right, and I hope there is something in that Fellaini to Turkey thing, because I really do think no matter whether he plays in the final next week and scores a goal, we'll never win the title with him in our side. It's just not good enough. Name me a side in the top six who'd have Fellaini even on their bench. They wouldn't, and that is, we're Manchester United. We're not Sunderland. Get rid of that sort of player. I mean, Lingard should go, but he's just been given a new contract, so we're going to have to put up with him. But it's on Mourinho's head. If he wants to stick playing Fellaini, then he'll be sacked by this time next year, because nothing good will come of it. Let me take another caller, see what people have got to say. Remember, whatever you want to talk about. Let's try. I'm trying to get somebody new. There's so many people phoning in. Fantastic that loads are calling in. Probably going to do a Skype Goldbridge on Thursday night, by the way, because we've got no more Thursday night football, so it means we can do a Skype, because we'll be doing a watch along on Wednesday night. So bonus show, we will do that. Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, mate, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're slightly quiet, but you're probably all right for everybody else. What do you want to say, pal?
Yeah, well, we're in a bit of a predicament, ain't we? Our team is terrible, to say the least, right now. The team that we have is absolutely shocking, but on the bright side, we're in the final, so I'm shitting myself to think how we're going to play in that, because the team that we have is absolutely terrible, but also transfer season's almost coming up. So to fix this team, we have a lot of dead wood that we need to try and get out of here, and unfortunately we can't just get rid of everyone, so it's going to have to be a systematic weaning out all the worst of the worst. So I've provided a little list of who I think should leave.
Okay.
For the first 5 people, I think it should be Rooney, Carrick, Smalling, Januzaj, and Wilson. The reason I put Januzaj there and Wilson is because they're obviously not good enough. If you can't hack it at Sunderland, why are you even here? So the people that I have in is James Rodriguez. Obviously, you've been saying about where's he going to play. So I don't know if I really want him to come here, but obviously he's been linked here, so fine. If he comes, we'll see. If he wants to be a snake, he can go to PSG again. So I have Alaba. I think Shaw's time is up, and I think that because we can't get rid of a whole team, I think we need to do a bit of demotion and promotion, but I'll get onto that into a minute. If we can't get Alaba, I think that we should go for Rose from Tottenham. I think that we should start picking some other players, because like the guy said before, in every single position we're very, very poor. And then I have Griezmann, Varane, and Fabinho. I totally understand that these are signings that seem very out of our reach, but as you said before, Man United has the pulling power. We can do it. It's going to be it's going to be impossible to gather these players, but these are the kind of caliber players that we need to start getting. For the left-hand side wild card, I have Quincy Promes from Spartak Moscow. Right. He is a left winger. He plays for the national Dutch side, and he also can play right mid. So to be honest, our players are so one-dimensional. My girlfriend was watching the game with me, and she said, "Hey, Rashford's actually pretty good." And I was like, "Well, yeah, if he's good, he could be on the left, on the right, up front. He can track back." And I was just thinking, our players can only do one thing. And to be honest, they can't even do that one thing very good. So I would get Promes in. And then another one, I know a lot of people are not going to like this one, but I would say Pablo Maffeo from Man City. We played against him once. He's a right back, and he was absolutely phenomenal. I was very annoyed to have to say that, but he was absolutely phenomenal. He did such a good job. And then on the demotion, I would say Fellaini, Lingard, and Mata all have to be demoted. Unfortunately, Mata has been really, really good for us, but if Griezmann comes in, if James Rodriguez comes in, if Mkhitaryan wants to play there, I don't see Mata actually having a space at all in this team, unless if he's willing to be on the bench. It would be fantastic to have him on the bench. But to be honest, I think, how old is he now? I'm not too sure, but he's getting on a bit, and I just don't really think that he's going to want that, unless if he wants to pull in a huge wage. That's probably why everyone is going to come to Manchester United, because we're going to start paying through the nose for everyone. And then at the bottom, I have promotion. I have Pereira, Tuanzebe, Blint, and Fosu Mensah. I've been watching Pereira for some of the games, and he's been playing really, really well. Tuanzebe, Sanchez in his pocket. Blint, I've been saying it from day one. I love Daley Blind. He should be a defensive midfielder. It isn't going to happen, unfortunately. And Fosu Mensah is just a tank. He's a little kid, but he'll rip someone's head off. And I will give him the elbow straight in the nose. It's totally fine. And then, Luke Shaw. I think that Luke Shaw should start playing in the under 23s, because he needs to have a consistent run of games that I think he's just never going to get in the first team. Give him one more year, and if it's not, just cut the losses and get rid of him, mate. He needs to leave. And then once he's done all these changes, I think the next year, Jones, Darmian, and Fellaini will all be out of here.
I think we're having a bit of problem with lag at the moment, so we're going to have to cut the call, Mark. But thanks for calling. Really good points. What I'll do is I'll kill the call. Hopefully that will stop the lag, and then if you listen, you'll hear what my reply will be. But thanks for calling, pal.
All right, no worries. Bye-bye.
Cheers. I'm going to have to hold off on taking more calls for a moment. I've got no idea why we're getting lag. We shouldn't be. Let me just double check. No, everything's fine. No idea why that's doing that. I can tell when we're getting lag, because we've gone from 1,700 people watching to 1,200. It's buffering really bad. That's a bloody pain in the arse, that is. Let me see if it's something to do with this. I think I know what it is. Turn that off. Wow. Why do people? That's one thing though. Why do people turn off when we've lost half our views in no time? Just bear with it. Obviously, it's going to sort itself out. That's really disappointing that you're so shallow that you all just turn off. I don't understand why it's laggy. It's really annoying. Hopefully, it will sort itself out. YouTube can be laggy, as Mindstorm says. Yes, it certainly can. For those who are moaning about my internet, how long have we been doing this United Stand, and how many times have we had a problem with lag? Yeah, not very often, is it? So it is the internet, and it can sometimes do that, which is a pain. But it looks okay. Yeah, and I do get upset by people just switching off. What's a good show? It's a shame I wanted to talk to Marco about that. And Benjamin says, "Fix it or I'm gone." Off you go then, Benjamin. Do you think I give a shit? Close it, reopen it, and see if that works. I stay, Mark. I'm a good fan, Emmanuel. Thank you. It's all right now. Good. The hardcore are here, Chad. I know who the hardcore are, and thanks for that. It's okay now. Good. Okay. I think what was happening is, just to let you in on something. We've got our United Stand Members Club, which is on Patreon. I think we've got about 81 of you now. It's $1 a month. You get bonus content, bonus chat on there. Lots of stuff going up on there. In relation to the Transfer Daily, we do like a morning papers thing at 11:30 at night. So it goes up at 7 a.m, but we release what we're going to talk about and the thumbnail for it at 11:30 at night. And I've done a behind the scenes video that's going to go up on there tonight as well, which I was uploading, which may have messed around with my internet, so it may have inadvertently be my fault. So if you aren't one of the United Stand members on Patreon and you want to support the channel and get exclusive content, of which there's going to be more and more, we're going to start doing Q&As live on there that won't be on this channel once we get to 200. The link is in the video description, so please do get involved, support the channel, but we'll put exclusive content on there for you as well. Q&As, behind the scenes. I did my video collection the other week and all sorts, but there's lots of debates that we have on there. But you won't lose anything that you get on YouTube either if you're a tight arse and you don't want to support this channel. Okay, Mikkel says, Mark, you're a great host. Tell the BBC that. I'd love Gary Lineker's job. But we've still lost about 600 viewers, which is bloody fantastic. But hopefully some of you will come back, because we've still got a good half an hour of this show left. Please come back. Please come back. But let me do the super chats while I just make sure everything's okay. JD, thanks for contribution. He wants me to answer his call, which I will try now. JD, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello,
You're live on the United Stand. What do you want to say, Jadif?
Hi, hi Mark, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. You?
Just want to call in and say that I'm good. Great show, by the way. And just want to say that right now I am Mourinho out, and I know that you don't support my opinion. I just feel we're not playing the brand of football that we should be playing, and it really gets boring to watch the football that like we play nowadays. And I really don't have any interest in watching it, to be honest. For example, the Arsenal game. For me, it was that I didn't even wake up for the game, to be honest. I didn't even bother, because I saw the score at halftime and I was like, okay, 0-0, so why wake up for it, right? Because it's gonna park the bus and it's gonna end up 0-0, that way. So
where do you watch from, Jadif? Where do you watch? What country are you from?
I'm from the US.
All right, okay. Just because obviously you have to wake up to watch United, I suppose it's a bit like the days of Van Gaal, isn't it? I mean, people don't realise that. People are getting up in the early hours to watch United play, and people will say, well, you should support them through thick and thin, but it's not easy getting up in the early hours of the morning to not see what you expect from the club that you love.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually used a bit during the Van Gaal era. I mean, it just used to be slightly more exciting for me for some reason, especially FA Cup when against Everton and Marlow scored the last. Just those kind of moments that will do, yeah.
Okay, thanks for calling in, Jadef. Please do call in again, but it's breaking up a lot, so I'm missing a lot of what you've got to say. But just very quickly, would you like James Rodriguez?
Yeah, definitely.
Would you like James Rodriguez at Manchester United, or do you think we should be looking elsewhere? I think he's gone already. I'll take another call in a minute. I've just realised what I've done now. It was my upload. Never upload when you are live. That was really stupid, and I'm castigating myself right now mentally. I need to pick up on some super chats as well. Lag. It's not lagging again. Surely it should not be lagging this time. But I know there are some arseholes on the live comments who will just do it to try and wind me up because they think it's funny when I get cross. I've got to take a call. There's so many people calling in at the moment. I've got to take a call. Let's try Matt. Matt Shawnee.
Hello.
You're live on the United Stand, Matt. Hope you're all right. What do you want to talk about?
Basically, I just wanted to say that I'm Mourinho in. I wanted Mourinho the moment Sir Alex Ferguson left.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I was gutted when we got David Moyes. I did not want David Moyes one bit. And then we ended up with him, and he kind of ruined everything in my eyes. Pretty much got rid of pretty much everybody, backroom staff-wise. And I'm just so glad that we've got Mourinho. And I understand, obviously, this summer transfer window that's coming up is going to be huge for us. And I'd obviously love to get rid of quite a lot of players, to be honest.
Who would be on that list? Because I think that list varies between fans at the moment, and it can be quite long or quite short. But who do you think we need to get rid of this summer?
Instantly Fellaini, like just Fellaini, just get rid of Fellaini straight away. Jones, Smalling, and Lingard. I just don't like Lingard at all. He's I don't know. He just doesn't show any sort of promise or anything. Yeah, he has the one or two good goals, when we needed it, kind of thing. But apart from that, he's just so inconsistent. It's unbelievable.
The problem with Lingard is he definitely won't be going anywhere because we've just given him that new contract. But
yeah,
Rooney,
yeah, that kind of sucks. Rooney, he's done. He was done. It's done a long time ago. I remember I've watched the United stand for quite a while now, and I remember Alex sort of saying, he's done, and I kind of agreed with him at that point. And then you sort of watch it on TV, and you can tell the guy is just finished.
I mean, Alex doesn't get a lot right, but he did say at the start of last season, so 2 years ago, I remember me and Kev saying, no, he can still turn it around. And Alex did say, no, he's shot. He's been playing since he's 16. He's not looked after himself. He's gone. And to be fair, he was one of the first people to say that. So, yeah, he was spot on about that. In relation to, I just wanted to come back, because obviously Mourinho in, as am I, but the football at the moment, he chooses the tactics, he picks the team. It's not good enough at the moment. I'm sort of hoping that it's down to the fact that the players aren't good enough and he's just doing what he can with what he's got. If in a year's time we're slightly better, we're in the top four, but we're still playing this way of football, would you still be backing him? Do you think he's got to change the way he plays, or is it all just about success?
I think, to be honest, he was expecting more from the players when he turned up, and obviously sort of Chris Smalling last season to Chris Smalling this season is, it's like night and day. It's ridiculous how good he was sort of last season, and then this season has just been terrible, to be honest. I think he was expecting more from Rooney, and I think he wanted to kind of make Rooney his little project and trying to get that going, but obviously, again, failed legs. He's done, kind of thing. But I mean, I think the end of this season, I think we've all sort of shut off player-wise. I think everybody's just sort of waiting for that final game now in Stockholm, and let's hope we win it, basically.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, definitely. Thanks for calling, Matt. I presume it's your first time. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Derby, and yeah, it is first time I've rang in. I've wanted to ring in for quite a while, but never kind of got the chance eventually. But now, obviously, I've done it. So yeah, sweet.
No, thanks for that. I mean, I appreciate it's very difficult sometimes to call in. We are going to do it again on Thursday, but please do call in again, and it just shows you will get on eventually. It's not through not wanting to have people on. So thanks for calling, pal.
No, wonderful. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah, I see it in the live comments, people saying, I'm trying to get on. Look, it's great that people call in, and we are trying to think of ways to get you on. I'm going to take Damien simply because I need to sort out getting him on the show with Rodney. Damien, can you hear me?
Hello,
can you hear me?
Hello.
You're live on the United Stand. What was it you wanted to talk about?
Hello.
I don't think it's the same Damien I was talking to last week, actually. Can you hear me, Damien?
Hello.
No, remember when I had the guest on the preview last week? For some reason, they had a problem where I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me, which was a problem. Okay, let's try another caller. Yeah, let's give you a go. Let's try Jamie. Jamie, can you hear me? Jamie? Nope, he's gone. Either gave up or bottled it. Nah, not going to be like that. It's very hard to pick people because I want to try and get somebody new as well, because I'm sure there's some great talent and great voices out there that we've never had on before. We'll try you, because you've got a good profile pic. Oh, I've lost it. There's so many people calling. I saw somebody with a really good profile picture there. There he is. Right, Mackenzie, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, Mackenzie. You're live on the United Stand. What do you want to talk about?
Well, it's like the performance we've had this summer, this season, to be honest.
Okay, good performances or bad performances?
Like, it's like the Europa League. Like, because we put all our eggs in one basket, like the way we perform in the league, if they can score an early goal or like a later goal and just park the bus, I just feel like we won't be able to break them down like we've done it. It's like West Brom, Stoke, and Burnley.
So you'd rather us attack Ajax than sit back?
Like a bit of equality, to be honest. Like Lingard, like I don't think he should be playing, but that's just my opinion.
I think, yeah, well, I would back that opinion, but I think he probably will start. I think Fellaini will start as well. Do you have any concerns about the way we're playing at the moment? Do you think, are you one of those people who thinks that Mourinho's the wrong man, or do you think he just needs more time to sort out what is, in fairness, I think everyone would agree there are issues with this squad?
There is issues with the squad. Like, we do need better players, like, all around in every single position. Well, the majority of them anyway, but like I still think he's the man for the job, because like from like where we was last season, like we are like not playing like scoring not as many goals, but we're playing like better football, and like we've had more shots, a lot more shots. Like I think we had more shots in like February than the entire last season.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I think the press, obviously they've been like it all season. Any chance they can jump on United, they will, and they keep throwing up these stats about he's got a worse win rate than Moyes and Van Gaal, and we've got less goals and this, that, and the other. But the reality is, we all know there was some ridiculous stat around January where he'd had 120 shots on goal and scored 5 goals at Old Trafford, which, you know, we are creating the chances. He just needs to buy players who can put the ball in the back of the net. What sort of would you James Rodriguez obviously is the title of the show tonight, so is he a player that you would welcome at Manchester United, or do you think, like I do, that I rate him, he's a good player, I just don't know why we're going for a player like that when we've actually got players that are already like that?
Like he's like around the same age as Mata, I believe. It's like it's not like he could like help Pereira like develop, so I'm not sure the reason to get him. Like I'm not sure whereabouts he would play.
And if you could pick one player this summer, I mean, you know, you might think we need a left back. What would the one player that you think Manchester United need to go and get this summer?
Sorry, it was breaking up.
What one player would you sign this summer for Manchester United? What's the one position that you think we really need to go and get somebody from? And do you have anybody in mind?
Well, if De Gea goes, and like a goalkeeper, but up front, maybe someone like Aubameyang or Griezmann.
Yeah, I'd love Aubameyang. Thanks for calling, Mackenzie. First time on the show, is it?
Yeah.
And where are you calling from?
Manchester.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for calling and watching, Mackenzie. And please do call in again. Great call.
Thanks, man.
Cheers, pal. It is breaking up a bit tonight. I think I don't know what it is causing it. But Jadef has made a contribution. Thanks, Jadef. He was just on a few minutes ago. Mark, I prefer Bale. Cannot stand Lingard anymore. There are a few super chats that I've missed because I was actually logged onto my other account. It was on my Mark Goldbridge account. So just bear with me. I'm going to sort that out. Here we go. Community. Come on. It's slow tonight as well. Super chat. This is going to be bloody impossible to read because I've got so many Skype things up there. But Jadaf, we did. Robert McPhee, thanks for the contribution, Robert. And all he asked was, what's the Skype name? Sorry, that's my fault. Mark Gold, no, it's not. Skype Goldbridge, all one word, is the name, is the username. We will be back on Thursday. I know we've had problems tonight, but we'll do another Skype call on Thursday. Back tomorrow night, obviously, with the preview. Watch along Wednesday night for Southampton. Maximus Steele von Holsten, thanks for the contribution. He says, Emil Forsberg, Mark. Check him out. He is amazing. I'll write the name down. Dun, dun, dun. Forsberg, email. I'll take a look. He's not somebody who springs to mind. It's familiar, but not springs to mind. Lewis Wells, thanks for the contribution, pal. And Mudiaga says, Mickey Ritian. Mark's trying not to laugh. Yeah, Michael did pronounce it wrong, didn't he? But I'm terrible at names myself. Yeah, and that's all the super chats done for tonight. So that's great. I'm going to take another call. Who we got? Oh, it's all go tonight. Right, I'm just going to try Kieran. Can you hear me, Kieran? Hello.
All right,
Kieran. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Goldbridge?
I'm good, thanks. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just want to say I'm Mourinho in,
Good.
but I'm Fellaini out.
Even better. Good.
Well, I think it's quite simple, really. He's a panic buy from David Moyes. He's the last revenants that he's left at this club, and I think he needs to go so we can just completely etch out the Moyes era and completely just start again. With the transfer saga, I think with Mourinho, I think his signings have been quite good so far. I mean, Eric Bailly, not many people would have spotted him, but he is an immense talent, and I think he's been our best player this season, bar maybe Valencia, but most consistent player this season. So I think, whatever he wants to do, whoever he wants to sign, I'm going to back him because I trust him with the signings, and I think we only need to strengthen in 2 areas, and I think we will definitely be able to mount a strong challenge for the title next season.
Yeah, I mean, good. I mean, whatever anybody says, whether Mourinho in or out, I've always said that if you can name a manager that's had, basically it's 100% strike rate from 4 players. No manager in the Premier League has got close to that for the last few years. He's bought 4 players, and you could argue all four of them have been a success. I think Mkhitaryan's a bit touch and go, but the other 3 have certainly been successful in relation to goals from Zlatan. Bay's been a beast, and I think Pogba has been. We've missed Pogba when he's not played. So, just on transfers, Rodriguez. Obviously, we've been asking everybody about that. And what's your thoughts on this deal? Because it looks like it'll happen. Is he the sort of player that we should be bringing in, or do you think there's other areas we should be looking at before that? I mean, we may well look at other areas anyway.
I mean, to be fair, he does, because La Liga's a lot different league to the Premier League. I do think he's a quality player, but he may have, like Mkhitaryan seems to have, a hard time selling into the pace of the league. But he definitely has the qualities that we'll need to possess next season if we want to mount a challenge. He's good going forward, makes a killer passing, killer instincts, and I think he's because at home we haven't been able to buy a goal. We haven't scored. At home just draws all the time, and I just think that he is one of those players where he can make something out of nothing, and that's what we've needed at times at home this season. Especially not Fellaini. He can do nothing.
Just go back to Fellaini. Obviously, this is I'm hopeful, but I've heard this before. The Trabzonspor president saying that they want to sign Fellaini, they want to make a big signing. I don't think they mean like a big stellar signing. I think they just mean a tall player. But he's not. I just don't think he'll go. I totally agree with you. I remember when he signed, and it was almost as bad as when we got Moyes. I remember my mate messaging me on transfer deadline late. It got quite late, and I was like, I hope it falls through. Where's a dodgy fax machine when you need it? But it didn't fall through. We signed him. I've never liked him. From the minute we signed him to now. It's just, I don't know the man, but the player just makes me, the way he plays football is just not what I want to see in a Manchester United shirt. For a last minute dodgy signing, he's done well under every manager. I mean, something about him gets him picked. Are you confident he'll go this summer, or do you think we will be stuck with it? I mean, I think he's a Jonah. I really do. I think he. You look at what we've achieved with him at the club, and yeah, we won the FA Cup and the League Cup, but the league is where you're measured. Sir Alex Ferguson used to say that every season it's all about where you finish in the league. And 3 seasons out of 4, we've not been in the top 4, which is embarrassing for a club of Manchester United status. So, do you think Fellaini will be here next year?
Well, to tell you the truth, I desperately want him to go. I think he's an absolute shambles of a player. I just think that to be fair to him, he has scored some important goals in games. For example, that goal when we were going through the qualifying rounds for the Champions League against Club Brugge last season. But in the grand scheme of things, when it really comes to those pressure moments, when we're looking for a goal to building an attack, he just doesn't have it. And I think that I desperately want him to go. I think when he came from Everton, you thought, okay, he's a panic buy. But he's had some good qualities at Everton. I mean, I remember him scoring at the start of the season against us, and I think that he's a good striker. We should if we play him anywhere, play him up top, cause havoc in the defence, because having a massive tree to deal with isn't exactly easy for defences. But I just think that absolute shambles of a player is Everton standard. He's not Man United standard. He should surely just please just go. I don't care where he goes, just as far away from Manchester as possible. In fact, no, go to Man City and play their midfield.
It's a good point. I mean, I do say that a lot. It's people call it Fellaini. I mean, I wouldn't say he's got a cult following. I'm tempted to change one of the letters, but he has got people do like him, and it used to really wind me up. I've sort of gone past it now because I always say, look, name me a club, not even in the top 6. I would argue in the top 10 that they wouldn't have him in his starting 11. That would even have him on the bench. And we, Manchester United, supposedly the biggest club in England, are playing him in our midfield. And your point's very, very good. It's been said on here a lot of times. Look, if you're going to play him, he's got to play in the opposition's penalty box. He's got to be a number 10. But we play him in the midfield. I don't get it. But I can say the same about Lingard. I don't know. It's not fair to just go on about Fellaini because he did score an important goal last week. I don't understand what Lingard does either. So that's 2 players in our starting 11 that arguably put us down to 9. And then when Rooney plays, we're down to 8. So he has got problems in that squad, Mourinho, hasn't he?
Yeah, I just think that, like, the thing is with us this season, it's like we've been really close. We've had chances, but you don't need players like Fellaini to take those chances. You need players like James Rodriguez. You need your big players to step up, and him and Lingard have just not been good for us this season. Lingard, I mean, his youth. I still really don't agree with him getting 100,000. I think that's absolutely daylight robbery, but that might just be the modern game these days. But I just think that, Fellaini, if we're trying to challenge, I mean, in a team like Chelsea, even Liverpool, right? They're like Lucas. I would rather have Lucas Leiva in my midfield than Fellaini. Like, I'm sorry, but Fellaini. The thing is that he's just one of those players who just angers me whenever he's in the starting lineup. It's one of those players I see and just sigh, like, just relentlessly. And, I'd much rather see, I mean, Tuan Zabi there would probably be better than Fellaini. I just think, like, Mourinho, he's sticking by him, but I really hope he goes, to be honest, Mark. I really hope so. And, it just angers me a lot,
Great call, Kieran. Thanks for calling. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Gateshead.
I think that cut out a bit, but I think you said Gateshead. Please do call in again. Great call, Kieran.
Oh,
it's cut off again.
So, by the way, tell us when Macola's on.
He's more than welcome. He won't come on, though. He'll bottle it, but he's more than welcome. I'd love to have a chat with him. But thanks for the call, pal.
United stand forever, mate.
Cheers, pal. There's a good couple of comments on here. But just to wrap up with that, Kieran, I know a lot of people like Fellaini. Look, some people have been on here, Mourinho out. I don't agree with that tonight, but I respect them. If you want Fellaini in your team, I respect you. It's only a bit of banter. But the frustration with people who don't want him in the team, I totally understand where Kieran's coming from there. It's nothing to do with the individual. It's the problem that some people have with Mourinho, actually. They're sort of going hand in hand. It's playing a player like that in a Manchester United midfield. He can't pass. He's slow. He's cumbersome, he's clumsy, he's not technically gifted, he doesn't move around well, his positional sense isn't great, he's basically just a big lump who's an aerial threat. And that's not what Manchester United want in their midfield. Liverpool wouldn't do it, Man City wouldn't do it, Spurs wouldn't do it, Chelsea wouldn't do it, Everton wouldn't do it anymore. Martinez was glad to get rid of it. Arsenal certainly wouldn't do it. And the reason they wouldn't do it is because they want ball players in the midfield. They want tenacity, they want ball players, and he's just not that. He's tenacious, but he's not a ball player. And that's the frustration. It's not really about saying he's the worst footballer in the world, because he does have his strengths. It's about that sort of player in the midfield. Rayu20 says, who would you rather have, Tom Cleverley or Fellaini? Well, I'd have Tom Cleverley. I mean, Tom Cleverley as a midfielder, in a midfield 3, every day of the week over Fellaini. As a number 10, every day of the week, Fellaini. I mean, that is the big thing. Fellaini's not actually played in the position that he's good at. When he played well against us for Everton, he was playing on our centre-backs. He was Leighton Baines, 40 yards balls into his chest, which we know he's good at. They're on the edge of our box. They're causing us problems. He definitely wasn't a bloody centre defensive midfielder, because we would have beaten Everton 4 or 5-0 with the team we had in those days. For some reason, we signed a number 10 and decided to play him as a centre defensive midfielder. That's the baffling thing with Moyes, with Van Gaal and Mourinho, is they play him in the midfield. He's not a midfielder. I think he thinks he's a midfielder. He's not. He's a number 10. And to be honest, he should never be a number 10 for Manchester United. He should be a number 10. He should be a last 10-minute option. But look, thanks everybody for watching. Please do drop a like on the video, because the callers, I've seen a bit of hate and stuff on there, and that's not what the United Stand's all about. Look, you might not agree with the caller. Somebody might come on and be a little bit nervous. Whatever. The Skype Goldbridge show is about you coming on and having your say, and everybody has a voice. Everybody has a voice. So respect it. Don't start abusing people, because Marcus will just remove your comments, and if you do it enough, you'll get blocked, because we're not bothered about blocking people. We don't want to block anybody, but we don't want people not calling in because of abuse on there. I've had it all. I get it every time we do it, and I've had it all the way through. It's like water off a duck's arse. But I don't want people not calling in because people are having a pop at people. We can disagree on football opinion. That's fine. You know, people are giving me abuse because they want to shove their head up Fellaini's arse. Whatever rocks your boat. Fetish, I know all about that sort of stuff. And there's some weird people out there. But don't start taking a pop at people who are phoning in. I want to encourage it. That's what this channel's always been about. So please do drop a like and support the channel. The great thing about Skype Goldbridge, when I look at it in the morning, is seeing 1,000 likes on it and thinking that is support from all you lot. You know, that is. I want 1,000 likes on my Transfer Daily as well. I'm egotistical, apparently. I'm not really. But if there's one video that I really do want people to drop a like on, it's this, to support the people who call in, because we find talent on here as well. And I want more and more people to call in as well. I can see people calling in now. We'll be back on Thursday night doing one of these. Over the summer, I want to get it up to 2 times a week again, because I know a lot of you call in and I want to get more voices. That's what it is. So thanks everybody who has called in. Absolutely superb. And yeah, remember to drop the like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner hologram. We're closing in on 90,000. That's what we're going for before the end of the season, which would be great. And also, I've got to shout out the United Stand Members Club. There will be a video going up there in the next half an hour, which is going to be a behind the scenes from me. There's already, if you're signing up new, there are videos and stuff on there and conversations that will more than fill the next 3 hours for you anyway. But for those who are already signed up, there's a new one going on there. It's $1 a month. It's United Stand on Patreon. The link is in the video description. And don't worry about it. If you can't contribute and you don't want to back the channel in that way, that's fine. If you do, we'll make sure that you get way more than $1 a month's worth, and we really appreciate you backing us up, because we're providing a lot of content on YouTube at the moment, and I'm sure some of you know about it. The ad revenues are just dropping and dropping, but we don't want to drop the content. So you know, you get a lot off the United Stand. If you want to contribute to it, that's great. And thanks for everyone who does the super chats. But that's me done. I'll be back tomorrow morning 7 a.m. With the Transfer Daily, a really player that we're not linked with at the moment. I guarantee you we will be linked with him in the next 2 weeks, and it's a player I really want us to get. He's headlining the show tomorrow morning. I'm just writing it up at the moment. So thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all tomorrow night at 8:30 as well, 7 a.m. for the transfer show, and brilliant calls and brilliant people on the live comments. Just support everybody. We are Manchester United. I know it's difficult, but just support and back everybody. Let's keep this great community that we've got going. And I know it's the minority, but if you are one of them people who are just typing abuse, think, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Don't do it. That's not what this is about. Argue with people, but don't start being abusive and taking the piss. Otherwise, you'll be taken out. And I haven't got a Goldbridge van going around with people who take people out, tracking your IP addresses. I just mean you'll be removed from the live comments. Thanks everyone. Really enjoyed it. You're the stars of this show. You're the stars of the show anyway with the live comments. But I've really enjoyed it tonight, and we'll be back with one of these on Thursday. John Ashley, you can have comment of the week for saying, can we have comment of the week? There you go. But we will bring it in. It's a good idea. I'm going to upload that video onto the United Stand Members Club now, so I've got to get off. But thanks for watching.